Why are gun guys so gay? It's a brave question that needs to be answered, and thankfully, there are two Australians that set out to answer such a question. Now, it seems the Australian man ranges on a spectrum from alleged war crimes. Do I smoke this? Do I smoke this? You know that video? No.
The guy had his hands up, and then it was almost like target practice for that soldier.
To, well, these guys.
I'm brand new to clothes.
Yeah, me too. So all of this is new.
That boy ain't right.
Right, mate. That's the wrong accent. G'day. Oh, mate. Die for it. Now, I personally love getting to hang out with Australians. I think they are a good time. Not only are they intrinsically fun, but they themselves, by existing with that accent, are funny. The whole Shane Gillis bit of like, oh, look out! I was on a baby moon with my wife in Cancun, and we hit it off with another Australian couple. I liked the dude a lot. He was hilarious. I like the Aussies. The problem is with the Aussie brain trying to comprehend the nuances of gun culture. The YouTuber Boy just released a very interesting video that resonates with me deeply. For some reason, he chose Tenecore. I don't know why, because out there's a lot gayer channels that he could have made fun of. I'm not excluding me from this. And this kind of bugged me.
It's not gay. We're not being women. This is all about a tactical clothing system.
Hey guys, this is Jeff with Tenecore. I'm the founder and designer of Tenecore products. I've been carrying a gun for over 25 years.
I've never carried anything for that long.
If I carried a gun for 25 years, I would have killed so many people.
Yeah, who is this pussy?
The amount of accidents.
Who is this pussy? Boy is there with I Did a Thing. I don't really watch their channels too closely. I was browsing their stuff, and I will say, as far as like a YouTuber goes, for each of them, they're much better at the game than I am. Their thumbnails and concepts are pretty squared away, very clickable videos. And they themselves, I think, pander to a certain type of demographic.
Soy boys.
The whole Australian accent does actually get me. Like, even though they're kind of making fun of someone from my community, it is still pretty funny. Now, I do want to give a shout out to my top meme commandant, Austin at Vintage Warfare, who really brought all of this to my attention. I saw his video covering it.
G'day, mate. I think I'm gonna tuck me wiener in between me butt cheeks.
It made me laugh, and I wanted to talk about it on my own channel, because if only truly these guys knew how gay gun guys really are. I was actually never aware of Jeff from Tenecore's channel. Now I may have to subscribe and support. Never met the dude, never watched his stuff. I'm a busy guy making my own YouTube videos. Blows my mind of all of the creators that they could target that's even that much more clickable and or rage baity. They chose this guy. Jeff, to me, like being in gun culture, Jeff looks like a dude that I would obviously say part of his business model is making holsters and maybe sell some other things. I haven't examined too deep. Jeff to me looks like a hardcore gun guy in the sense that he is hyper focused on a lot of the small fine-tuned details that go into certain aspects of gun culture. Now with Boy and I Did a Thing, I'm not unfamiliar with their work. I saw them do a collab with Brandon Herrera, more so a hit piece, dare I say. Now in that video, these Aussies go out and hang out with Brandon Herrera in Texas. And this is technically some old news, some old tabloid drama that's kind of being brought back to the surface. So they go out to Texas, they're hanging out with Brandon. They get to go to the Black Rifle Range at the time. They're shooting all of Brandon's guns, his very high-end collection, very cool, expensive guns, and he's probably providing the ammo. Now to play devil's advocate, what happens next is their videos drop and there is a very heavy anti-gun slant.
When gun violence happens in his country, Brandon's answer is, we need more guns.
And Brandon never knew about this going into it.
I'm gonna make you look like an asshole.
On my way over here, I even called Brandon and said, hey, I'm making this video about this. Is there anything you want me to add? Nothing too crazy besides the fact that after all said and done, after the smoke settled, they did reach out and were like, I'm sorry, we should have told you sooner, and that they were legitimately concerned about losing access to Brandon if they told him the truth. That to me really does bug me. That's pretty uncool, man. That's not a cool way to go about collaborating with another YouTuber if your planning is to, give them smiles all up front and then try and stab them in the back and throw them underneath a bus after using all their cool toys to try and get a political narrative across that they had no idea you were trying to do. The Aussie spycraft trade is alive and well. You ever heard of a shoey? A shoey? Yeah. Drinking a beer out of a shoe? Yeah, where they drink a beer out of the shoe? Yeah. Apparently that's a crazy thing amongst the Aussies. It's like their bread and butter. You know, man, if you don't drink a shoey, I will say the finest thing that ever came out of Australia was Steve Irwin.
With this big crocodile right here.
I miss you, Steve Irwin. Oh.
So our goal here is for me to share with you my experience in the last 25 plus years, spending all the money and time and energy and resources that I have into figuring out this concealment problem.
Every single article of clothing that he's picked up.
In a weird way, I think it's kind of cool that you have a guy like Jeff from Tennecore, who's been carrying a gun for 25 years, trying to answer these questions for people that are getting into firearms that maybe have all these kind of questions. Looking at Jeff's channel, it's clear that he hyper-focuses on certain things, and maybe it's in relation to his brand. I think that's kind of a cool factor.
I'm just a normal guy who doesn't have a gun.
Don't have a gun, no gun here, guys.
I've spent thousands of hours,
That edit's actually pretty funny.
thousands of dollars experimenting with things and trying to figure out what actually works for carrying a gun every day.
For a man that's spoken about how much research he's done, he's literally wearing a hoodie and jeans.
Yeah, no, stuff's changed a lot for us.
What are you fucking talking about, bro?
I think the issue is that this man just likes fashion.
Yes.
He likes fashion and he needs to make this elaborate backstory in order to still be a straight guy. And he's like, oh, it's actually like tactical research, like 25 years of research. It's like, no, just be a fashion inspiration channel.
And I like it at the end of this, his resolution was the straight guy outfit.
Yeah.
That's the perfect, universally perfect outfit.
The most tactical outfit is jeans and a hoodie. It's not a
That's a fair counterpoint. It's like Jeff, he spent 25 years just to end up out of jeans and a hoodie. Granted, Jeff does go into detail later about the jeans being 5'11", the importance of the proper belt setup. But clearly, there was a lot that went into getting to the optimal jeans and or hoodie setup. I get where these guys are coming from in some ways. That being said, there is the theme with these guys, the Aussies, where they're like, obviously, if you have a gun, you're hyper masculine. I don't think they realize and or talk about it in this video, but within the United States, gun culture is a broad spectrum. You have people on the far left that go by pronouns of some kind, and they want to carry guns. On the far right, you have Hitler's top guy that wants to be armed and carry a gun. And in the middle, you have a lot of different little ideas and different political spectrums, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. And yet again, I don't think these guys realize how gay gun guys actually are. They're not too far off with certain things about this, with like the whole fashion show. Like if you go to certain, shooting events, there's a whole fashion show of like who has the best costume for that event. Would I call that necessarily gay? No, I think that's more so fun. Like I think that's a good time. I can see how they're using gay in this sense where they think Jeff's trying too hard to mask up his desire to be a fashion designer, and so he has to hide behind the facade of guns and being a tough guy. Typically how I use gay is when something is like cringe and or not cool. So I can see there's a disconnect there.
a dress, a big billowy moo-moo where no one can see. You could have an AR-15 on moo-moo.
You can have a suicide vest.
But that's not the most tactical thing.
No.
For the first 10 or so years of me carrying a gun, it was this constant process of experimenting with different belts, different holsters, different clothing, trying to find something that was both comfortable and concealable. It wasn't until I switched to appendix carry that my wardrobe choices...
Penis carry?
Appendix carry?
Oh, what he's talking about is penis.
Penis. My penis carry.
Is that not what he said?
Did he say penis?
The low-hanging fruit of dick jokes are a common theme amongst many circles. My penis carry. I think another thing they're not taking into account is the hyper-focused autismo aspect of the gun guy. Like, they're looking at Jeff and they're like, dude, just chill out, mate. Why don't you say chill? Why don't you say chill, mate? You know, I want to defend one of my own, right? Where Jeff is a guy that hyper-focuses on the nuance, the details, the things that go into an everyday carry because you want to get it, bro. You want to get it, Aussie bro. These guys are squared away.
Scary.
He did.
He said penis.
We've researched the perfect way to carry it. It's not penis carry. Penis. tennis cap.
I think if he carried a gun for 25 years, he's probably shot himself in the head a couple of times.
Yeah.
And now he just can't say the word penis anymore.
Yeah, but also I love the idea of every man that carries a gun has to point it directly at their cock.
So standardizing the gun that you have.
Don't do that. I've seen the challenges. Don't do it. It's not worth it, bros. Don't castrate yourself.
The holster you have and the belt that you have, which are kind of the foundational components to your carry system, is really important. Once you do that, you kind of know what kind of pants, what kind of shorts, what kind of shirt you can buy or wear. And it basically simplifies the entire process. I currently carry a Glock 19 with a
We'll get to it.
Triton RMR on it.
Currently carrying.
They're clowning on him for it, but Jeff, that draw from the holster like that for the demonstration, very clean, my man.
Any clothing, the higher quality clothing, it's gonna be more comfortable and it's gonna feel better and fit better. Find a particular t-shirt or undershirt brand that you like and then stick with that thing. I have found that the district-made DM130 works really well.
That is just a shirt. I find the DN130 works really well. What needs to work? You need 4 holes in it.
Jeff is getting hyper-specific about the shirts, holy shit.
Shirt, 1 big one slightly smaller one, and 2 very small ones.
4 holes, yeah.
Yeah. What other functions do you need for this?
Yeah, tell me the specs of this shirt. Like, that's what I want to know.
It's nothing, it's just that it's branded. And he's selling his own merch.
So he said, I found my own shirt.
Jeff does a little self-shilling. Real ones recognize. Speaking of self-shilling, this video is sponsored by Americana Pipe Dream Apparel. Fantastic young Zoomers getting after it in the milsurp space and arena. Guys, they have night vision knives, manuals, e-bikes, if you want to LARP around and you're terrorizing the HOA. And of course, milsurp clothing. I'd encourage you to go check them out. Also, to give a big thank you to Optics Planet, the optics sponsor of the channel. And despite us really not shooting any ammo in this video, we do have to give a big thank you to Badlands, Munitions, local Arizona guys that sponsor the channel with ammo. They help keep the lead flowing on the channel. I think it's funny and fitting to have all those sponsors given this video.
Talk about cover garments, you need to put something over the top of the gun to cover it. Cover garments that are stretchy and knitty, like this one. This is like a polo. This is going to form around the gun and is not going to work very well. A t-shirt is going to be maybe a little better than this because it's not going to be quite as stretchy as this.
I mean, this is the same kind of stuff I think about because I just always have a bone.
I will say I can see how easy it would be to kind of clown on Jeff's video in the sense where Jeff is talking about this like hyper niche thing of how to wear clothes for everyday concealed carry, when in reality it's like just wear something slightly baggier and oh yeah, comfy clothes are nice. You know, Jeff's obviously getting into the nitty gritty. He's got his whole storefront. It looks like he sells some holsters. Nothing against it. I'm happy someone like Jeff is out there putting out information for potentially some new guy that's looking to get into, you know, concealed carry. I think in some ways, these guys kind of represent the normality where nothing can ever go wrong, where they in their heads think like, why do people think like this? What are you worried about it? And I've even talked about it to Australians. They're like, why do Americans love guns so much? And it's like, well, we kind of lay it down. They're like, oh, I get it. You're scared of your own government. And it's like, yeah, we are. We don't like our own government. And they kind of get it. If there's anything, it's kind of like, dude, these Aussies back during the COVID lockdowns were getting just reamed with their freedoms. And we didn't really have to worry about that here because they couldn't try and control us. And of course, with the Australians, they'll always talk about how we confiscated all the guns and all the mass shooting stuff.
Those shots, they're precision shots.
And it's like, that's not gonna happen in America, right? In this fantasy land that you wanna try and enact. The gun cat is out of the bag here.
You want my gun, my firearm? Come take it from me. Just try to put those hands on me. Those soft liberal hands, put them on me, on my body.
You are never closing that Pandora box. It is literally written into our Bill of Rights. And of course, I'm like preaching to the choir here, but if you guys, if the I did a guy.
Oh, if you edit this out of context, you're being intellectually dishonest.
If the boy and I did a thing guys do stop by, it's like, I think what you gotta comprehend is that I think with a lot of people that are orientated towards firearms or the Second Amendment or just in general wanna have protection of some kind, they do not wanna be lacking in the violence that could happen. I know that in Boy, he said that he fled Yugoslavia to go to Australia. And it's like, you left a war zone. I can understand you have some trauma and hang-ups there.
It's such a strange feeling staring at these weapons from the war zone. You know, the actual weapons that we use to like tear my home apart, force us to the other side of the world and change my family forever. And then seeing these guys collecting this stuff.
But it's at the same time, it's like you technically are a product of conflict, and that conflict can happen just about anywhere. It should be a sobering reminder that you don't want to be the only one without a gun. And on a different note, as gay as it is to like think about clothing allegedly, it's also gay to have someone steal your gun from open carrying. So I think Jeff's onto something.
Lines running one way and perpendicular lines running another way.
Oh, you cannot be serious. He's describing what plaid is. What's really good about this shirt is that it's got 2 armholes, so I'm not stuck like this all day. How is this a YouTube video? He looks like he's about to fall asleep.
This is amazing. 6 minutes and he just explained why he wears really boring shirts.
So they're gonna cover up.
I kind of agree with him on that. That is some hyper detail going into everyday carry. Like, oh my God. Just wear a baggy shirt, dude. Baggier garment, I guess. If you want to be fashionable. Heaven forbid a gun guy has some fashion. You ever heard of James Bond? That dude looks cool and carries a gun. Heaven forbid Jeff tries to give me some fashion tips. I will say that it is very tedious, but heaven forbid. Thanks, Jeff. Looking out, dude.
Well, but not rounded things as well. Something like a Hawaiian shirt will cover up both because it is going to have both straight lines and round lines. And
what's a round line? You're carrying a grenade? What are you hiding underneath you? But also, if it covers round and square, why are you showing us any of the other options? Hawaiian shirt at all times.
All the time.
This shirt right here.
To be fair, the Hawaiian shirt is one of the pinnacles of male fashion.
What's so gay about this video was imagining this man trying on heaps of different outfits and going in front of the mirror. It is just like the lamest shit I've ever seen.
If I had a gun, that's all I would do. You're looking at me? You're looking at me?
You got me, okay? You got me. I'm guilty. You got me.
Don't.
They're right, dude. Why are gun guys so gay? Why are we so gay, dude? Don't lie, you've done that before. You got your fresh fit, your tactical gear, whatever cool clothing you got. You grab your gun, you're doing the whole like, you got us down to a T there. Gentlemen, checkmate, we have lost the match.
Jackets. When I wake up in the morning, I get dressed, I put the gun on, the gun comes off when I'm going to bed. And I guess you can get away with, I'm gonna put the gun on to leave the house and put my jacket on, but now you're committed to always having that jacket on because otherwise your gun isn't concealed. Those are different lifestyle choices that you need to make. You decide what kind of gun carrier you are. Are you a full-time gun carrier or a part-time gun carrier?
What kind of gun carrier are you?
Do you understand that? Like, if I had a gun underneath me, under my jacket, I wouldn't want to take my jacket.
Because it's illegal.
Because people would know I had a gun.
And they'd be like, who is this freak?
Yeah, but also it would change your interaction with everyone around you. If I was doing a suicide bombing and I was covered in a bomb, and then someone just stopped for a random conversation, you'd be like, yep, going well. Don't have a bomb on me. Be like, imagine carrying a gun on you at all times. Be like,
I'm just making a deposit at the bank. This is normal.
Nice to meet you.
I love that they think like carrying a gun is having this crazy piece of do-all, end-all firepower on you, and they're super duper lethal. In reality, that's really not the case. And if you do carry a gun, you get pretty well adjusted to it very quickly. You can be normal. It's okay to be normal. People get really weird about guns when they think about like if they're like those guys, they're obviously gonna be like really weird about guns. But if you're around like gun guys, it's like, oh yeah, I carry a gun in case someone tries to kill me. And you may say, well, who's trying to kill you? Yeah, that's a counter argument, but it's like things pop off all the time. Road rage is a common thing. People want to try and kill you over road rage. The list goes on. It's a never-ending what-if simulator.
Well, now I'm in a situation that I'm inside for the next 2 hours and I have my puffy coat on and I'm hot and I'm sweaty and I'm uncomfortable.
If you wear a jacket indoors and refuse to take it off for whatever reason, you're going to be sweaty and uncomfortable. Like that doesn't matter whether you're part-time or full-time. You shouldn't be wearing too many clothes.
Tell that to the emo kids that live in Arizona. It's like July and they're wearing a hoodie because they have different feelings that we've never felt before. We just want to get it.
Like he talks about how he's ready to take a life and he's so serious. This is child behavior. Setting up all your clothes so you can have your Harry Potter wand accessible at all times.
But also, he hasn't even gone far enough. Like if I...
The fact that he used a Harry Potter wand analogy does irk me, because it would have been much cooler if you'd have used a Lord of the Rings, pick up the broadsword little bro reference.
I use my broadsword.
Speaks to the caliber of Aussie that we're dealing with, boys. Also, I think calling it childish would be a miscalculation of vernacular. It should just go back to like hyper-autismo. Clearly, Jeff is focused on this everyday carry topic and has put a lot of time into it and has hyper-focused down, boiled down years of experience that he wants to share with an audience. I wouldn't necessarily call it childish. Childish would be like unsafe behavior. Jeff is just trying to gain every small tactical advantage he can in case of the hypothetical high-stakes airsoft match that could happen to him in the streets. I always hate listening to people with non-American accents try and talk about American gun culture for whatever reason. It just wells up this American anger inside of me. It's like the blood memory of, and my ancestors weren't even probably here yet, but like the blood memory of like marching with Colonel Jackson to go fight the British down at the Battle of New Orleans. Like for whatever reason, it just wells up, dude. In 1814, we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. Well, we brought a little bacon and we brought a little beans and we caught the bloody British at a town of New Orleans. Like the Aussies used to be cool, dude. And the British too. The West has fallen. Billions must watch a boy boy. It seems like they're really trying to play into a certain type of American gun guy trope where it's like if you have to have a gun, you obviously are compensating for your small wiener. That's like the classic trope they're trying to play into. I get it. I can see from the outside looking in, these guys may not have this totally dialed view of gun culture and all the different social cliques and political nuances that go into it. Sure, I get it. This concept is not lost on me. I do love getting to see like outside takes from people like normies like this on gun culture. I always think it's kind of funny because a lot of the things, sometimes they actually get some things right and sometimes I think they get some things very wrong. Like how they're criticizing Jeff for like hyper focusing on garments to wear. It's like, honestly, at the end of the day, you can just wear a baggy shirt or a fanny pack or something and be fine. And no one's ever gonna know you have a gun on you. At the same time, there are people that may be new to guns and they want to try and figure out how to go about safely carrying a gun, or they don't want people to know they have a gun, and it makes them like, they get kind of like psyched out in their own head. I remember talking to friends back in the day and they're like, oh dude, I'm thinking about carrying a gun. What's the best way to go about it? I don't want anyone to know. And it's like, dude, no one's looking at you that hard. There was that instance of Henry Cavill being in Times Square underneath a poster of Superman and no one recognized him kind of thing. People aren't paying attention that hard, you'll be fine. There's also like a thing where because you want to carry a gun, it's like they're giving off a stigma that you are inherently like hyper violent. If anything, that's the opposite. I don't want to be like fist fighting random people out in the streets. I don't want to have to like shoot somebody. That would ruin my day. The amount of legal battles and court fees that would happen. Like I'm gonna get out of there. And if I get cornered, then in theory, if my life is very much at risk, the implementation of deadly force would come into play. But the idea that these guys that want to carry guns are these hyper masculine idiots that are compensating, it is kind of, it's kind of offensive. It hurts my feelings, dude. I'm gonna cry about it in the shower. But I feel like these guys got let off a little too easy, especially with how much I do love Brandon and Donut Operator. They did Donut Operator dirty in that video. It's pretty funny. I love the clip where Cody's like, yeah, this one has notches in it from the Yugo war crimes, and then Boy Boy shows a sad reel of all the Yugo conflict. It's pretty funny. Well done, Boy Boy. Good editing. I heard that you were very enthused in real life to see that Yugo furniture, so good on you, dude. I also love in their thumbnail, they're using Brandon's guns for the thumbnail, yet again after screwing Brandon over. I think what gets my goat the most, right, is I'm kind of coming to the aid of Tenacore here, to Jeff from Tenacore. I don't like seeing something like this where these YouTubers that are known to have screwed over another YouTuber friend of mine targeting this guy out of the blue when there's plenty of other gun YouTubers they could target that are much bigger, much more prolific, much more engaging of a topic. Just targeting Jeff from Tenacore really made me mad enough to come and make this video. I am coping and seething with rage at the Aussies. Yeah, you Aussie blokes, you better hope there's no petroleum in the kangaroo, or your days are numbered. You're gonna see what backs the American petrol dollar.
Knock, knock, mother.
I do love the Aussies. I think they're great. I think they're really fun. I hope maybe one day Boy Boy and I did a thing, turn around, maybe change their beliefs, maybe become a little bit more mature on the topic. I think, it is a very nuanced topic, right? American gun culture is one of those very heated political topics. There was a college course I took back in the day where this, it was like a writing English course, and it was like doing a debate, and the teacher was like, all right, these are topics you can't talk about because I get them so much. Gay marriage, abortion, gun rights, don't talk about it, I don't care. And I was like, all right, that's fair. Yeah, it's like low-hanging fruit for a political debate. My fellow replicants, I have nothing else for you. Godspeed.